Hey everyone, happy Facebook Live. It's been a little while since we've done one, and people are probably like, who is this? Haven't seen this guy in a while. My name is Dan Scoff. I'm the chief meteorologist of KNWA and Fox 24. It's in the Fayetteville and Fort Smith area. It's in the little corner of Northwest Arkansas. It's a beautiful area. If you're from here, you know this area. Tressa says, Roger's here. She's ready. So we've got Rogers. We've got from Bella Vista. Bella Vista, a great golfing community. If you're a golfer, you want to retire, it's a place to be. But let's take a look at the weather forecast. I've got a 7 o'clock newscast. As you can see, it's just me, myself, and I here in the weather lab as we will continue to watch the latest. But here's what we've got. We got rain chances that are coming back. So heavy rain potential with some flash flooding possible on Thursday. And so there you can kind of see all of my socials, meteorologist Dan Scoff, at Weather Dan on Twitter or X. I still call it Twitter. On Instagram at Weather Dan, my Your Weather Authority page on Facebook, and then you can download our Weather Authority app too. Just go to Your Weather Authority. And hey, Wyatt Puck, good to see you, sir. Can you send some of this rain to Central Kentucky, please? So yeah, right now probably not going to happen on this one, but maybe later on in the week next week we'll continue to see some stuff. Oh, thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Yeah, we did some revamping. We got some newer graphics and stuff like that, and so we're continuing to revamp some different things. So first of all, this is what you can see for our weather over the next couple of days. Let's talk about this. Let's break this down for you. And so overnight tonight, great weather if you're headed out to the Train concert. Let's get a little zoomed in view of what's going on right now. Gates opened at 6:30. You've got Edwin McCain that's going to be at the Walmart Amp, but that's not the headliner. Headliner is Train. Let's just say that it's great weather for a concert. Beautiful, not rainy. A little bit of cloud cover rolling through. But if you don't know who Edwin McCain is, if you watched American Idol back in the first few seasons that it was going on Fox, that was when it was awesome. That show was really cool. Edwin McCain was I'll Be. They have that song, and a lot of people karaoke'd it, and they did like a whole montage of all the bad singers that sang that. I was singing it in the station not too long ago. So let me show you this real quick. Before we get to the forecast, I've got to give you a kind of a wide view. So we've got a new weather lab here. Let me kind of take you on the tour here as I stop the camera from panning around. So first of all, we'll start off this way. This right here is the weather wall. It's now on the wall when you walk in to the right side. So what that does is that allows us to see everything in the studio. So we ripped down this wall that was blocking my entryway. There's our tornado machine. Currently is where it's residing. This is just a giant monitor. But what's really cool is this. We've got two monitors here that are on the pod. We've always had this. So this controls Mega Doppler, and then this controls Max 1. But now we have the ability to control Max 2 and the weather cameras. So we're able to control everything right here while we're standing. Obviously, my backside is not my best side. I've been doing a lot of squats lately and running, so maybe it's getting better. But regardless, that's our weather lab. And then you pan over this way, and you've got this right here that's still in progress. We're probably going to put a desk across there. But this wall right here is where the CTV set is. So we've done some revamping. And by the way, we got some new cameras too. Do you see that right there? The Q-Script camera. So that right there is a remote automated camera. Pretty cool. It's a pan tilt zoom camera. Pretty cool stuff. All right, let's get to the forecast, show you what we've got going on, what we got cooking over the next few days. So rain chances are ramping up dramatically. Tomorrow afternoon, we're going to see some rain. Tomorrow evening, we'll see the rain continue. Here's a breakdown of that 24 and 48-hour forecast, and you'll see those rain chances really do start to ramp up. Another thing that we did, which is really cool, is now we've got the streaming computer by itself. So what does that mean? I'll show you here in just a bit, but I can control Max 1 and Max 2 at the same time without having to shrink down the graphics. So it's going to be super helpful. It's going to be great when we're doing live streaming. We'll be able to look at comments as we're in the middle of severe weather coverage. just all sorts of stuff that making this a lot more user friendly. But there's the rain chances that come in Thursday morning. We're talking about the potential for some heavy rain at that. And the River Valley is a little bit less certain as to how much heavy rain is going to occur. I still think that will be raining. Look at the temperatures kind of slowly and steadily dropping. Not much of a temperature rise or fall during the day on Thursday. And so we'll break down that hourly forecast with the future radar here coming up in just a bit. But if you do have plans for Thursday, then you want to make sure that you're watching the forecast, because any type of flights on Thursday morning, if you have a flood-prone area that you reside in, you might have to watch the forecast closely, because we do have that potential for heavy rain. Now, we haven't seen an excessive rainfall forecast that's shown anything over a long time, but we do have that heavy rain threat. It's a level 2 out of 4. This is for valid time 7 a.m. Thursday through 7 a.m. Friday. And just to let you know, we do have a day 2 outlook that starts creeping in as well, because really this rain is going to start, honestly, overnight Wednesday before 7 a.m. into Thursday morning. So that's the day 2. And then this is the day 3. And then the day 4 obviously pushes it south and it moves out of the area. So when we look at the wide view, it's a pretty wide view that day 2, or that day 3, level 2, covers over our area. So how is this rain going to happen, and why is it going to occur? Well, we are about to see more of a northwest flow weather pattern. For some of you in the Ouachitas in southern Lafleur County, Scott County, southern Logan County, you got some rain today. It wasn't a lot, but now we're starting to see, look at all that monsoon moisture. This is pretty typical. If you haven't seen, there was quite a dust storm yesterday. You may have heard the term haboob that was thrown around. That just means dust, straight dust, essentially. In Arabic, it just means it just means a windstorm, essentially. So a haboob is a very dusty, windy storm that happened, and it caused a lot of issues with power outages, some strong winds, some severe weather. It was all from a cluster of thunderstorms. That's what they're seeing right now. But as we go throughout the next couple of days, those big systems are going to ride up and over and around the ridge of high pressure and then drop to the southeast and move into our area. So what's going to happen is that ridge is going to expand a little bit, and we're going to be in the northeastern periphery of the ridge, which allows us to see quite a bit of thunderstorm activity. Now, let me take this camera off the screen so you can see all these little disturbances that are moving in. And we've got one that's starting to push in Wednesday late morning into the afternoon. Now, this will pop up some showers, as I'll show you on the future radar. So get ready for rain. I know there wasn't a lot of rain today, but tomorrow there will be more. And then on Thursday, there will be even more, because look at all this energy, a lot of energy, probably focused more in southwest Missouri and north central Arkansas. But nevertheless, we're still going to see rain in the River Valley, even though the models don't really show that. And then the good news is that this looks to be out of here for Razorback weekend. So if you're doing anything for tailgating, besides a slight chance of isolated showers, we're going to see that potential for storms. So unsettled just means that we've got active weather. We've got rain, we've got thunderstorms. Severe weather is not going to be a concern, but flooding will be. But we're not talking about tornadoes and hail and damaging wind potential, just because the instability is going to be pretty limited, surface-based instability at that. Okay, so here's the future radar tomorrow morning, already starting to creep into the River Valley. We're going to zoom in on that, and there you see that rain popping up late morning into the afternoon. Now, remember, these models are probably a little slow. I think there could be rain around middle of the day, around noon. Might hold off until the afternoon, but there's the rain popping up, and then watch what happens overnight, Wednesday into Thursday morning. Thursday morning, we're talking about some pretty active weather. Not only that, but some pretty heavy rain potential too. So you're going to see some heavy rain, and you're going to see that we've got that potential for heavy rain that will remain over the area throughout our Thursday. In fact, we're talking 2 to 3 inches of rain area wide. So mid-level moisture is on the increase. Therefore, rain chances are looking pretty impressive. So there's 2 to 4 inches. You can see that over the area, and that's mainly focused across southwest Missouri, northwestern, and north central Arkansas. Yes, Alexis, it is more of a desert thing. However, we actually did back in 2007 had a dust storm in February, and it caused low visibility, and it was kind of like a haboob, but not quite exactly the same way. But we did. I remember we had actually had some widespread power outages. We actually had family. We had a dinner party for a couple of our friends, and they were over, and we were outside, and the wind was blowing, and we lost power. We had to go off a candlelight. So, anyways, there's the 2 to 4 inches of rainfall that's expected. Now, here's the future track rain, and I'll show you here as this populates. This model seems to think the river valley won't see any rain at all. And I think that might be a little underdone, but nevertheless, you can see 1 to 2 to 3 inches of rain. If we look at these computer models, you'll notice that there is a bullseye of heavy rain somewhere. And we don't know where that heavy rain bullseye will be, but we know that this potential for heavy rain will be there. This one shows more of eastern Oklahoma and the river valley. You can see around 1.5 to 2 inches of rain for the next 3 days. The European has widespread 2 to 3 inches. That would just be a nice slow soaker, which would be great to get rid of these burn bans that are in effect in the river valley. Here's one that shows about 2 to 3 inches in northwest Arkansas and southwest Missouri. And then the NAM is showing quite a bit of heavy rain over north central sections of our weather coverage area and southwest Missouri. So there is a little bit of an uncertainty as to exactly where that heaviest rain swath will be. The good news is, though, is that we get into the weekend, and it's looking actually really nice for the weekend. Here's the burn bans, by the way. You'll notice that there's still 28 counties that are under burn bans, including Crawford, Franklin, Sebastian, and Johnson County. Those are probably going to expire here shortly, though, as we get into the next couple of days. And just to show you here, as I bring up the computer models, we're going to take a look. And I've got this show that's going to be starting up here real soon. But here's the European model for Thursday. Widespread rain looking really likely. But this all moves out by Friday late morning into the afternoon. Friday evening is looking great. And guess what? Saturday, besides a slight chance of a little isolated shower, maybe in the higher terrain, Saturday is looking good as well. And then as we go into our Sunday and into Labor Day, we're looking at some pretty nice weather. Highs will be in the upper 70s to lower 80s, so you guys can enjoy that. All right, well, we're getting ready for another newscast, 7 o'clock on KXNW. And we got Doug Warner at the helm here. So, well, that's about it. If anything changes dramatically, I'll do another update. Casey Patty says that looks like we'll have some flooding potential is what they're seeing. Now, keep in mind that mid-level moisture is on the increase, so those contrails are sticking around a little longer. All right, well, take care. God bless. We'll see you later, and have a great rest of your Tuesday. Enjoy that concert if you're going. Should be a nice one at the Walmart Amp. See you guys later. Thanks for watching.